Okay, so good evening everyone. Doc Shino here once again, and welcome to Focus Review Center. And tonight we're going to have a Talk with the Top Notcher session. This is actually a tradition by Focus Review Center where we do this every after PLE. We talk with the cream of the crop of the last PLE. These top notchers did not just pass the PLE, but they were among who scored the highest ratings. And tonight we are joined by one of the top notchers of the October 2025 PLE. She is a graduate of St. Luke's Medical Center, College of Medicine, William H. Quasha Memorial Incorporated, and she took her internship in the same institution. And of course, in the last PLE, she placed fifth in the board exam. So let's all welcome Doc Beatrice Hope Go Reyes. Doc Beatrice or Doc Bea, okay,
Yes
no?
po. Hello.
Welcome to our short interview podcast. And unang-una sa lahat, Focus Review Center and all of our students and audience are very, very much thankful for having you this night with us.
Hello. Thank you for having me din po.
Okay. So, siguro, no, kasi medyo we're doing this sa gabi, no? Alam ko for sure pagod din si Doc Bea. Let's get on with the interview right away. So, unang-una siguro sa lahat is how are you doing right now, Doc Bea? How are things going for you? Siyempre,
I'm
PLE.
yeah, I'm doing okay naman po. I'm currently doing pre-res. It's a bit more tiring than usual, but I'm coping naman po. So yun.
So as of the moment, you're having pre-residency for in the same institution, no, St. Luke's.
Yes,
For
yes
what
po.
particular, can I just ask out of interest, anong particular field?
I'm doing internal medicine. So medyo hectic po siya, since marami
Ah,
pong patients and then the workload's heavier than usual, more than what we do as clerks and interns. So I think it's also adjustment, but a lot of learnings naman regardless po.
okay. So congratulations, no? And I'm pretty sure na later we'll see you again, no? Doon sa mga once lumabas yung mga ano diyan, no? In-service examinations in that particular field. Okay? So let's get on with some questions. So by the way, I've divided some of the questions into particular subtopics, and later siguro we'll go over some of them very spontaneously. So una, no, of course, having passed the PLE, and not only pass but of course nagtop ka in the last PLE, fifth place. How does it feel to have passed and top in the last PLE, and were you expecting it?
Actually, I was very surprised when the results came out. Actually, the first thing I checked was if I passed. Kasi yun po yung lumabas na list na sinend sa amin. So I just checked if I passed. But I didn't really bother to check yung mga top notchers, ganyan. Because actually, it wasn't really my goal to top. Kasi I know that the boards is a very difficult exam to study for. Kasi sabi nila, medyo random yung mga questions. And I have to agree, the questions are very random at times na parang feeling ko hindi ko inaral yung ganitong topics and may mga percentages na lumabas din. So I really wasn't expecting to top. And I think from the onset, I wasn't pressuring myself naman din to top. Kasi yung end goal was to pass. And actually, even if I didn't pass, parang I was already, like I would be able to accept it naman. At least hindi ako ma-pressure to, or like, parang at least it's a sign na, oh, I have to rest, maybe it's not my time na. But yun, when I talked, I was really, really surprised. Because I thought the exam was quite difficult. But yun, I think marami nag-congratulate sa akin. Ang dami nagme-message sa akin. Medyo na-overwhelm ako. Tapos parang hindi ko pa kasi nakikita yung list. So medyo nagulat ako. But I was also very, parang very grateful din naman. Kasi I've known that my parents are very proud of me and also my family and my friends. So yun po.
So of course, I'm quite sure your family and friends were very very much happy na nakita nila yung results.
Yeah.
But of course, I'm also quite sure na you were a good performer during your med school days. Were there some sort of a pressure coming from your maybe family or your institution no sa med school mo for you to
Um,
top? Uh,
I think there was like a subtle pressure kasi may mga nagjo-joke sa akin na they're expecting my name sa listahan ng top-notchers, like lalo na galing sa school. And also yung mga older batches din, they were also hoping, not really expecting, but hoping that they would see my name as well. But in terms of family naman po, parang I don't think they were pressuring me naman. Actually, they told me to just take it easy. And they also told me to just do what I can. If hindi matapos itong subject, it's okay, ganyan. Just don't pressure yourself too much because they don't want then like my health and my well-being to be compromised just for the boards. So yun, I think it was just a mix of like a little pressure, but then not so much naman din kasi I know na whatever however I do or whatever score I get, I know naman I did my best.
okay, so siguro perhaps it's a healthy kind of pressure we can say, no?
Yes po,
That's
yeah.
a
I try
healthy
not
kind of
to
pressure.
let it get to the best of me naman.
Okay, sige. So of course, yung mga audience natin, much of their interest in watching this podcast interview would be really knowing your secrets, no? So quote and quote secrets that you did no during the PLE. So siguro simulan natin with a few questions. Unang-una is when did you begin, sorry, studying for the boards? And do you think studying early has an advantage for the board exam?
I for the boards itself, I started studying around July. Actually, I was very lucky that my rotation during that time was community medicine. So we had weekends off, and then we would end like it would be the usual like 8 to 5 schedule. Sometimes we would end earlier. So during my downtime or during the times na wala kaming masyadong ginagawa, I would study. Reviewers, and then but it wasn't very intense studying naman. I was just reading through it. Tapos at the same time I was also reviewing a bit for like the subject for the rotation itself. So medyo nakatulong din siya. But I think the intense studying started around August. So actually the first week of August I wasn't able to study that much since we had graduation, we had preparations for that. And then my family went on vacation pa during that time. So it was really, siguro mga second week of August doon ako nag-aral talaga. But then there were also some days din na it wasn't very like the focused kind of studying. Kasi may mga errands, kailangan gawin sa bahay, ganyan. Tapos I was still able to parang meet up with some friends and family. So yun. But I think the real studying, the real focus siguro mga like, September na talaga na parang, okay, I'm gonna focus talaga on boards. Parang medyo, hindi naman locking myself inside, pero I was trying to use much time as possible to review for the boards. But I think kasi for my school, we have what we call the comprehensive exam for interns. So I think it's to assess the interns or the students' readiness to take the board. So usually we have it around April, and we had it around end of April to beginning of May. So it's a very high stakes exam in a way that if you don't pass, it also meets the same criteria as the board. So you have to have like 75 average, and then you have to get at least a 50 in all subjects. So it was a kind of like a simulation of the boards, all 12 subjects, tapos 2 weekends din siya. So we
And
knew
then it's
kasi
also a 100-item exam. Was it
yes,
also
100 items
100
exam
exam?
din. So although the order of the exam is different, but the concept is essentially there. So we were told kasi from our upper batch when it's a very high stakes exam, and then um, it can make or break kasi if you'll graduate eh. So yung mga hindi pumasa, they have to retake the exam, but then after ilang months pa. So medyo mas na-pressure ako mag-aral dun kasi syempre parang wala, I wanted to be able to, graduate on time. Sayang din kasi sa time eh. So, I started studying for that medyo like mga October. So, medyo nakatulong siya in a way kasi yung mga concepts na ni-review ko for the boards, parang nababalikan ko lang siya kasi na-review ko na siya for our comprehensive exam. Yun. But
So
for the
that was October 2020. You began studying for that October 2024, and then the exam in St. Luke's was what month was that?
April,
For the
April, May.
April.
Pero yung sa October, hindi rin siya yung heavy study, more of just reading and also focusing on mga inaaral ko, yung mga cases nakikita ko sa mga rotations ko that time. But I think the heavy studying for the comprehensive exam, siguro mga Feb, ganyan.
Okay, no. So at the very least, siguro actually, no, it is leading to my second question, no, which is, since you are a graduate of St. Luke's, being a member of that particular med school, may inherent advantage ba siya, do you think, for your case?
I think personally kasi our school has the comprehensive exam and for other schools, wala siya. So I think for me, being able to prepare earlier for the same kind of or setup or similar setup helped me. Kasi at least medyo nasa-simulate ko na yung parang feeling na magta-take talaga ng exam, na medyo high stakes, high pressure with other people as well. But I think for other institutions, meron kasi silang mga PGI review, tapos meron din ata yung mga simulation test. So, I think kahit saan naman, there will always be resources naman din to help you. It's really just up to the student then to use them wisely. I think for some institutions, kahit yung mga public, kasi I came from a private institution, I think public mas workload heavy siguro. I think nakakatulong din based from what I've heard from other recent graduates, nakakatulong din yung mga cases, yung exposure nila. So I think each institution naman has its own benefits. I think it's really up to the person to take advantage of it naman. So, yun.
Okay, no. So I think helpful siya, no. At the very least, you had that kind of system where there is a very crucial exam that everyone needs to pass, no. And at least there's some degree of pressure again, no.
And yes po. And I think for my case naman, like the cases we were able to see in our institution, usually the mga common cases din na tapos nakatulong din, I guess, in terms of reinforcement of concept. So, a lot of the concepts din, parang lumalabas din siya sa boards, more or less. So, I think being able to sort of maximize the exposure, nakatulong din po siya sa board examination.
Okay, sige. Thank you for those. Okay, no, so given the fact na mga around lang I think yung talagang intensive phase of your study for the boards is around siguro 3 or 4 months only, no, for you. Ito, no, let's go to this next question. How long did you study per day, no, during that intensive phase, mga around siguro September? No, and when do you think is the best time to study? Are you more of a morning person or sa gabi?
I would actually siguro mga September, the first half of September. Depende kasi sa day. May days na parang siguro mga 6-8 hours. May other days na parang talagang 12 to 14 hours yung days. Lalo na yung last 2 weeks before the boards. For me, I'm more of a morning person talaga. Like I usually crash around 11 to 12 na. Tapos I-wake up mga 7. Tapos usually like I'd eat breakfast or sometimes I'd take like a quick walk, parang sanity walk lang. Tapos study na, ganun. I wasn't really, there are days na I was able to study out, pero most days I actually preferred to study at home kasi medyo nasasayang yung time ko sa travel and then, in the traffic time. And medyo napapagod din ako sa travel time. So I really just try to study at home as much as possible. This nakakatipid din kasi in terms of like the food and yung mga coffee, ganyan. So for me, I have friends who study more in the nighttime. So I think it really depends on the person kung saan sila sanay. But ako personally, morning to afternoon, and then I kind of crash out na by mga like 11, ganyan.
Usually, ito common question ng mga students, no? How many hours of sleep were you getting during the review?
Sleep siguro 7 to 8.
Healthy amount of sleep pa rin, ha?
Yes, it's so hard to function without sleep kasi. There are some days na there are some days na 6 lang. Yung weekends of the boards, medyo nakulangan ako sa tulog. Like yung mga between day 1 to day 2. Actually, yung night before day 1, medyo kulang ako sa tulog kasi kinakabahan ako. Tapos day 3 to day 4, medyo kulang sa tulog. So yung mga 4 to 5 hours. But I wouldn't recommend that kasi I felt like when I was answering the subjects for days 2 and day 4, my brain was already getting fried na. So I think I could have answered better if I had gotten more sleep the previous night instead of cramming for subjects. Kasi di rin masyado nare-retain eh.
Okay. So now let's go to some siguro more a question na about your study style, no? So in terms of reading notes and answering questions, kasi ito yung two common approaches during the review. Which one do you think was better for you and you can recommend?
I would actually recommend answering questions. I know na most of us, hindi tayo ganun katapang to just answer questions. Kasi syempre like there's that fear now. It won't be able to cover for all topics for that subject. But I think with retention, it really is very helpful. I know a friend na ang ginawa lang niya, nag-answer lang siya ng mga practice tests. Tapos yung mga handouts, mga reviewers, like nababalikan niya after answering the questions. Tapos mataas din yung grade niya, parang 88 yung overall average niya. Tapos marami din siyang 90s and high 80s na score. So, tapos I think it's more beneficial talaga with retention. I think kasi reading notes is a very passive process. I mean, you get to cover siguro almost all bases, but the percent of knowledge that you're able to retain from reading lang, parang very konti lang. Actually, what I do minsan, I answer the questions and then I end up reading the topics or mga reviewers after I answered the question kasi parang, nagkamali ako sa question na to. Tapos I'll look for the answer, like yung whatever paragraph or bullet points kung saan nakalagay. Then mas nagsistick kasi siya sa akin. So yun, I think answering questions are very helpful. Even yung mga Telegram questions, may mga questions, diba yung sa question banks, I answer it actually when I'm like on the road or like I'm parang I'm not actively studying. Nakakatulong din siya kahit papano. Tapos minsan may mga rationale there. So a lot of the concepts din lumalabas din siya. So yun. I also think aside from answering questions, asking questions with your peers, like doing group study is also very helpful. Kasi parang in a way, active recall din siya. And it's okay. I think a lot of people are scared na magkakamali sila, ganyan. It will parang reflect their performance in the boards. But for me, I think it's a way to sort of reinforce concepts. And the more kasi nagkakamali ako, mas nag-retain siya sa akin. So yun.
So actually, it's the same thing that I would usually advise students kasi ganun din yung study style ko, when I was studying for any exam for that matter. I usually use the questions para ma-form ko kung ano yung baseline knowledge, kung ano yung alam ko at hindi ko alam, and then mostly go through yung mga mas difficult parts for me. Okay, no, when I go back notes or handouts. Oh, but speaking of handouts or books, did you study mostly handouts or books, or did you incorporate other platforms throughout the duration of your study?
More of handouts. I didn't really have time to study for books kasi it's very long. The text is so long. And I know kasi if I read books, hindi rin siya magsistick in the end. Yun. Tapos, more of handouts and then mas simplified kasi yung mga concepts pag nasa handouts. Other viewer, I think questions talaga. Like, actually, even not even boards related questions or like questionnaires related to the boards, even like yung mga previous questions na from like quizzes or exams that I've taken, parang nakatulong din siya in terms of reinforcement of concepts. Even like I said, yung mga Q banks sa Telegram, nakatulong din yun. And yeah, doing group study with friends. Kasi baka may mga concepts na they remember but you're not able to remember. So it's really like a good way to share knowledge with one another. And yun, mostly handouts and mga questions, yeah.
Oh, okay, no? So, ang question ko lang, no, kasi since the setup of especially most review centers right now are in an online setup, including Focus Review Center for that matter. And ang usual setup yan there would be a lecture video and then there's an accompanying handout. A common problem ng mga students kasi is they really can't finish the lecture videos, no, for some reason. So what was the case for you? Napapanood mo pa rin ba yung mga lecture videos, or do you utilize other lecture videos perhaps coming from, let's say, YouTube or other websites, or you just focus on studying on your own using your notes?
Yeah, lecture videos, I also wasn't able to finish. There are some subjects kasi for me na hindi gumagana yung lecture video sa akin. Like, I prefer to study alone. Parang yung mga subjects like legal medicine, preventive medicine, kasi yung mga concepts in those subjects, for me, mas na-retain siya pag I answer and practice questions. And then, like, read whatever excerpt the questions are from. YouTube, not really. Actually, for me, nakatulong yung AI, ChatGPT. Kasi you can just input parang certain topic and then it can help make questions so that you can answer as part of active recall. Tapos, I also use ChatGPT to help me explain certain concepts for certain topics and subjects, because parang there are some, I have to admit, there are some topics in the during the board review that I really am not so familiar with, or I just touched on very briefly during med school. So I asked to explain the concepts to me, and mas nagsistick naman din siya. I'm a visual learner kasi. So if I don't get like a certain concept, lalo na kung anatomy or like parang physiology, I search for diagrams and I search for yung mga magagandang labels for mga anatomical parts, like yung mga letters. So mas na-visualize ko siya. So I think Google is very helpful, and AI actually, like if you use it correctly and appropriately, it's very, very beneficial din naman pala.
Yes, and actually, we also advocate that in Focus, no. But we always say Google competently and use AI appropriately. No? Kasi sometimes misinformation, no, can really be misleading, especially for other people na wala sa field natin. Siguro I'm just very curious lang, no. Were there particular subjects in the boards during your review, no, na medyo pinaglaanan mo ng extra time in studying kasi medyo kabado ako sa subject na to. Medyo I think I'm quite um, weak sa mga subjects na to.
Oh, kasi feedback from the upper batches, mahirap no pharma. So I really tried to allot more energy and time for pharma because I know I'm not the best in pharma and there are a lot of drugs and marami kasing modes of action, side effects. So I really tried to take my time in studying pharma. There are subjects, yung other subjects, the clinicals, actually I paid more attention than to the basic sciences. The clinicals, parang it felt like a refresher kasi we were able to rotate in some of those rotations na in clerkship internship. So parang reinforcement lang din yung mga must-knows. Subspecialties in certain subjects like surgery, I think I didn't get to study that much, unfortunately.
So may mga parang na-skip ka rin, no?
Yes.
No one can really finish the boards, sabi nga nila.
I think it's really hard. It's very unpredictable. Actually, nagulat ako sa surgery. That was my lowest. I didn't get to study a lot of the subspecs. Ayun pa naman yung mga lumabas, mga NSS, ortho, and those are the subspecs na I'm not very familiar with din. Kasi most of my exposure is mostly general surgery talaga, yung appendectomy, mga lap cole, ganyan. So, yun. But I think it felt very relieving naman na a lot of people felt the same way din. So yun, I focused on pharma. Tapos a lot of my weaknesses din, parang nag-focus din ako sa mga, actually, well, I tried to focus on PrevMed, like legal medicine. So yun. Tapos mga anatomy din, I tried to focus on that because I'm not the best in anatomy. And medyo matagal na rin since I've really studied it and it's very in-depth. So, yun.
Okay. So ano talaga, no? Sabi nga natin, ang ating mga top-notchers, ano pa rin sila? Tao pa rin sila, no? So they really can't finish everything, but then at the end of the day, no, ang ganda pa rin ng ng performance in the boards. This is one interesting question, no? How did you keep your sanity during the review?
Oh, so hard. Actually, I don't know. Parang I would just take each day as it comes. I think having a good support group is very helpful. Like I have a lot of friends then going through the same thing. I have like yung mga med school friends ko, yung mga college, high school friends ko na nag-medicine din. So I think that really helped. And then parang medyo empathizing with one another. Now, reassuring each other na we're not alone in this process. And ay nakakatulong na parang hindi ko pa natapos yung coverage na to, hindi ko pa natapos to. So parang it really helped me realize that it's really hard to finish the coverage for the boards. It's a very wide scope. So that was very reassuring for me. I think having the support then of family and friends is very important, even especially mga non-med. Allowing them to sort of like, calm you down, parang making sure na you're well rested, giving you food and enough parang reminding you you have to sleep, ganon. And I think a lot of prayers din, like I would always pray every night na parang, sana things will go the way it should be, na parang I'll just learn to trust the process. Kasi, the coverage of the boards, hindi mo talaga makakontrol. Syempre, what you can control is your efforts. But of course, we can't really predict what will come out in the boards. So just putting myself and parang giving my best and then giving it all to God. Parang medyo na-reassure ako na, okay, sige, whatever, bahala na si Lord, and whatever results me and my friends will get.
So I think it's mostly the support of your fellow takers, your family, prayers.
Yeah, a lot of support and yun, reassurance din And it's not the end of the world na parang if things don't go the way you don't want, that, things didn't go the way na you would have liked it to go. Parang it's not the end of the world, and there's always like another time, and basta deep down inside you did your best.
Okay. So thank you for that. Now let's go to some siguro medyo mas board specific no na mga questions. Okay, let's go first with this one. What was the hardest subject for you in the PLE and what was the ECS?
Hardest subject for me, siguro surgery talaga, as in hands down surgery. It was very hard. Kasi hindi siya yung typical na, yung like, yung critical views of safety sa lab colon na lagi na-emphasize. Hindi siya yung like, yung usually in naaral it was like a lot of sub-specs that were actually, I think, just wildcard excerpts from Schwartz. I don't read Schwartz kasi. So, of course, I didn't really know the answers. Like, I was just really guessing based on intuition and based on logic. Tapos marami din surge physio, like the physiology of the surgical patient. Medyo hindi ko rin siya masyado nadaanan. Tapos yung mga bread and butter surgery like breast, thyroid, parang mahirap din yung mga questions. Pati wala din masyadong abdominal surgery questions. Yun yung mas familiar ako dun. So, very difficult for me. But I was kind of relieved when everyone else felt the same way. So, I wasn't alone. Kasi akala ko, like, iba magigets nila. Pero ako, like, hindi ko alam anong gagawin ko dito. Tapos, easiest for me, micro. I think it was one of the very buzzword-heavy subjects. Yung current jelly sputum, there's a lot of RHT questions. And buti na lang medyo naaral ko yun. Actually, a lot of the topics in micro was actually like bacteria. So, yun yung exposure ko kasi like in the hospital setting na mga infections, usually antibiotics pinipigay. So, I was very grateful na parang saving grace ko yun. I think biochem was also not as bad as it was kasi I'm a bio major, so medyo maraming subjects, maraming akong background on the questions sa biochem din from my undergrad year. So, nakatulong din yun. And medyo straightforward din sila mag-question in biochem.
Oh, okay. So, surgery, I think that's a very common feedback then in the survey that we did in our Telegram channel. It was also the most difficult, no? And micro was actually also the easiest one. Do you think there were favorite topics in the boards? Like they emphasize on particular topics or across all of the subjects?
Yes. Micro, they really emphasize on streptococcus, and then they also emphasize on rheumatic heart disease. Actually, not just in micro, but a lot of other subjects din, if I remember correctly. Like pati sa pedia. Tapos sa biochem, very enzyme kinetics heavy. Like what's the function of an enzyme? Tapos yung mga competitive, non-competitive. In pedia, it was a bit scattered. A lot of yung mga pedia felt like a bit of pathology. So, mga biochemical disorders, ganyan. I think a big major topic then was reproduction. Physio, it was a lot of hormone heavy, repro heavy din. Also in pedia, maraming mga adolescent reproductive disorders, yung mga Turner syndrome, ganyan, gonadal dysgenesis, even in OB-GYN din, that was a big topic din. Tapos for a lot of the throughout all of the examinations, there was like mga 2 or 3 OB-GYN questions. Like nagulat ako sa micro, may lumabas na placenta abruption na question. So I
So
think
parang may mga wild card.
May wild card questions.
Biglang napunta sa isang subject na.
Yeah, like since it's not even related to microbiology. So medyo nagulat kami. But at least medyo answerable naman. Like yung typical conditions naman din. For GS, yun nga, mga subspecs, that was a new trend pala. Like, kasi na-emphasize sa amin mga general surgery talaga, pero hindi pala. PrevMed, very heavy on statistics, like computation, yung mga indices, yung mga like, infant mortality rate, ganyan, what will you use in measuring this, and mga mahilig din sila sa mga graphical, like data presentation, like what is the best type of graph for this situation, mahilig sila ganyan. Tapos sa patho, actually patho was also a bit random. Medyo may mga nilagay silang mga sakit na medyo out of, never kong narinig. So, guessing game din ako. Yeah, medyo guessing game. Other subjects naman were pretty fair. Sa IM, I think IM plat heavy siya. I read kasi yung sa IM Platinum, meron siyang mga board correlates. Marami din lumabas from there. So, and also, it's very Harrison's heavy din. Ano ba yun? Parang yun yung mga favorite topics. But I think generally they really put naman the more common cases. Sa OB, syempre mahilig sila sa percentages. Medyo nalay ko na yun kasi I know na I'm really bad at memorizing numbers. Yeah, so OB was very heavy sa mga 3 questions na ganyan. Tapos pharma, mahilig sila, it was a lot of infections, maraming antibiotics lumabas, but it was very common naman, mga traveler's diarrhea, UTI. Mahilig sila sa UTI for some reason. Ang daming questions on UTI sa pharma. Tapos, across all of the other subjects, they were very fond of diabetes, even like in PrevMed. IM, even sa pharma din, mga DM drugs. Mahilig din sila sa thyroid actually. Like, I think almost all of the subjects may 1 or 2 questions about thyroid. Naalala ko may isang question sa patho na it's related about the treatment for mga thyrotoxicosis, ganyan, or hyperthyroidism. So, yun.
Were the questions like, were there more direct or marami rin mga cases?
More of direct. Usually, recall one-step questions.
One-step questions lang.
There are some subjects too na medyo heavy sa cases like pedia and OB actually. It was kind of unfortunate nga kasi it was the day 4, medyo pagod na lahat, pagod na rin ako. Tapos ang haba pa ng mga tanong sa pedia.
Si OB and
or pedia, very parang haba. So sabi ko, medyo hindi na ako, I can't keep up na. So yun. But I think generally for most subjects, a lot of one-liner questions naman. Yun. Pero yun yung mahirap din kasi pag recall, it's either you know it or you don't
Oo nga no? So at the very least, kung cases ito, you have so much clues. Pero if it's a direct one-step question, sometimes pag hindi mo alam, you're just going to pray over the question.
Yes.
Okay, now nabanggit mo na rin tamang-tama no, 4th day. So after the last day of the PLE, natapos na ang lahat. Describe the waiting time after the exams were done. So anong ginawa mo to occupy time? Kasi yun
Yeah, actually, I try not to think about it. I went on vacation with my family. So that kind of helped me not dwell too much on the exam. Um Yun, I think just trying to preoccupy myself, enjoy na lang. Kasi yung vacation na yun, it's been a while since I actually had a vacation na parang wala akong iniisip masyado. So I try to sort of dissociate myself from any type of work or like for anything related to boards. Like hindi ko ginalaw yung laptop ko that time. So I think just trying to parang make up for the lost time that I wasn't able to spend with family, with friends, na ganyan. So, yun.
So, ano, no? For some kasi, minsan, it's very hard for them to like
Yeah,
go
it
back to their
is.
families after the boards because parang ano no, there's a sense na hanggang hindi ba lumalabas yung pangalan ko, ayaw ko munang magpakita sa family ko,
Yeah,
no?
yeah,
It's actually
oo,
my feeling when we were waiting for the results of my own boards. Okay, but
definitely.
they're very good for you kasi your family is very supportive. No? So even without the results, kasama mo na sila right away.
Yeah, I think it was also them who wanted me to go on a vacation din as well. Though parang pinag-uusapan din namin ng friends ko like, okay lang lalabas, today na ba, ganyan-ganyan. Kasi, I mean, the boards was a difficult exam and who knows na parang kung anong MPL nila, like ilan yung passing rate, ganyan. But, just trying to, let go. Kasi at that point, hindi mo na magagalaw yung mga sagot mo sa exam eh.
Ah,
So, just trying to let go na lang, yun.
and okay. So now let's move on. Thank you for those, no, Doc. Let's move on to some questions na siguro giving some sort of advice for the next takers of the PLE. And I think ito yung isa sa mga common that are always being asked sa mga guests namin. What if I did not read or study a lot during my med school days or during internship? How will you advise a student na ganito yung kanyang situation?
I think maximize talaga yung mga cases na nakikita mo sa clerkship and internship. It's marami akong nasagot because of that, honestly. Like, no, I mean, kasi there are some people na, minsan may mga cases, tas hindi, like, medyo passive lang in
Mm.
sort of understanding the cases. But ako kasi, nakatulong yung parang learning about the case, reading about the case, kahit searching it on Google. Kasi ito yung usual na makikita mong cases outside of of outside when you become a doctor. So, yun. I think siguro like asking like helping one another in like terms of learning about the cases din. Yun yung masasabi ko. Ako kasi, I mean, I'll be honest, I really studied naman kasi throughout med school. I also believe na parang having a good foundation in your med school years will also help you in the board exam. Kasi parang nababalikan mo lang eh. Pero if hindi masyadong masipag, I think yun, yung whatever you see during clerkship and internship, and then studying or like discussing cases with other people. Kasi like yun mas nagsistick eh. Like pag nagtatanong yung resident mo about this case, or like pag nagtatanungan kayo as like co-interns, ganyan, mas nagsistick siya eh. Like bakit ito ginawa, bakit mo ganyan. So yun. For the basic sciences naman, I also recommend actually first aid, yung mga short review books din
Yung 70%.
Yeah, as in marami siyang mnemonics eh. Actually, yun din isang na-realize ko sa boards. Kasi ako, before, I'm not a very big fan of mnemonics. Kasi mas naguguluhan ako na I have to memorize the mnemonic tapos memorize the concept pa. But nakatulong din yung paggawa ng sarili mong mnemonics or nag-share kayo ng mnemonics kasi ang dami mo kailangan aralin for the boards and just trying to break it down to concepts na mas easier to remember. Very helpful din siya. So yun. I think also, if you want, you can also make flashcards. My
Mm.
friends, they're very big fans of Anki. Tapos they also use Remnote to make their own um, notes. And that was also very helpful. So sharing those resources with one another, nakakatulong din siya. Yun. Tapos may times na parang pag group study, may parang nag-Anki kami or like may parang pag-game siya. So I think that was very helpful. So I think as early as now, try to maximize whatever you see in clerkship and internship, focus on the common cases, and then don't be afraid to ask help, participate yung mga, sa mga discussions with residents and with doctors, with consultants, and also parang when you have SGDs, yung mga ganyan, I think dun magsistick yung mga experiences mo.
Okay. So, ibig sabihin it's not late if someone, let's say, konti pa yung nabasa ko no before I entered the intensive phase of the review. Kaya siyang habulin. No?
Yes,
Definitely.
yes. More often than not, yung mga natatanong sa boards, usually mga common cases naman din. So,
Okay.
I mean, syempre there are the hard questions every now and then, but yun, focus on the common ones.
Okay. So this one naman, I think also is interesting. No? Do you think I should review in a review center or study on my own? Kasi merong mga nagsi-self-study din for the board. So would you recommend enrolling in a particular or at the very least a review center?
Ako I did just for, medyo fresh. I mean, I think nakatulong din siya, but I didn't a lot of all of my friends enrolled kasi.
Mm-mm.
So, parang I didn't want to feel behind. But I think if you have enough discipline and the willpower to study on your own, I think it's very manageable. I know someone who didn't enroll and was able to pass them on the boards. So, hindi naman ibig sabihin hindi ka nag-enroll, hindi ka papasa, ganyan.
Yeah.
So, it depends talaga on the person how he or she studies. Kasi it really takes a lot of discipline And I think that's what the review centers can offer. Like may certain schedule tapos that will sort of force the reviewer yung reviewee to stick to. So I think it depends. Manageable naman kahit both naman. Siguro if you study on your own, maybe it's nice to have like friends who will keep you accountable din. Kasi it's easy to lose track of the journey or like yung schedule. So yun. Ako, personally, I wasn't very strict naman din about the schedule. Basta may matapos ako for the day. And I just mostly focus din on my weaknesses. So it's okay if like hindi nadaanan lahat. Basta you're able to study a bit of everything imbes of studying just a lot for just one subject.
So I think in passing you mentioned about this, but do you think the online setup of the current review centers are effective?
For me, yes. Personally, yes. Kasi when I'm in on-site, like based on my previous experiences, on-site, medyo mas nadadrain ako kasi yun nga, kailangan mag-travel and then parang kailangan to keep up talaga with the discussion that's going on. Ako minsan, I prefer to sort of go on my own pace. So for me, it's helpful kasi very convenient siya. You can study anywhere and then like you can go on your own pace. You can watch any lectures at any time naman. But for some people, they find on-site more effective kasi at least mas may nasusundan sila and at least they can ask yung lecturer, yung mga questions right there and then. So, I think it depends on the person. Pero for me, effective naman yung online setup.
Okay. Especially, wala na yung hassle of travel, getting dressed, okay, no? Waking up early. I think those are the advantages. And really, you can fit it on your own pace, no, kung paano ka mag-aral. It becomes more flexible no, doing so. Ito, no, I think this is a very good question. Did you have any distractions during the review? And how can someone stay focused and avoid these during the review period? Okay.
Distractions, I wouldn't know. I don't think I'd call them distractions. More of like parang mga de-stress activities. Like I would still go out with family naman. Tapos mga like, dinners, tapos may mga times na nag-aaya friends ko, ganyan. But yun, I wouldn't say distractions naman kasi I think kailangan talaga, like it's really hard to just study lang kasi I don't know, I would go crazy talaga kasi I want to sort of take a breather din naman. May mga times though na hindi ko nasusunod yung schedule kasi parang nadidistract ako kasi may parang TV show or like new episode. Minsan I just watch that sometimes. But during those times na feeling ko hindi ako focus, accountability by like a lot of my friends, with friends, very helpful din. Parang minsan nape-pressure ko pag nagtatanong sila ng question about a certain subject pero di ko pa nadadaanan. So, that kind of helps me keep on track din. Tapos yung mga timer apps, like yung mga anti-social media apps, I tried my best to avoid social media pero may mga times na parang kailangan ko ng contact with the outside world. Lalo na usually I'm ako usually alone at home. So, yun. Every now and then, it's nice to sort of talk to people to check social media, but I try to limit it as well. Also, yung mga studying with friends, kasi sometimes they also have those mga anti-social media apps. So parang mas napapressure ka to focus din when they're focused as well.
I'm just quite curious, no, kasi you mentioned mostly you reviewed using an online setup and usually sa bahay. How did you keep up with friends? Were you studying like you're using a particular online setup or talagang lumalabas kayo?
Yes. A lot of times I would use Zoom. I would Zoom with my friends.
Zoom.
Tapos,
Okay.
parang, kasi most of us, we studied at home eh. So, I think most of us felt the same way na mahirap like, always study out, tapos expenses pa, gastos pa. So, we would just study in Zoom. Most of the time, it was like the quiet study, yung parang minsan may naka-timer, tapos just doing your own thing. May other times din naman parang during the breaks, nagtatanungan kami. So, that helps. And siguro like not just talking about the boards, pero talking about other topics, yung parang, may bagong ganitong ganyan, ganyan. So, medyo really breather din siya for me. So, yun. May times din na I would study in like another person's house with other people. So, I think a mix of online and on-site it's not a bad idea naman din.
So sometimes just knowing na meron kang kasama, no, doing the same stuff and undergoing the same types of stress as you, malaking bagay na yun no, to help us during the review. Okay,
Yes.
this one I think maganda siya na question. What can you say to someone who did not pass the PLE?
I would say na it's okay. Like, it's not the end of the world naman if you're not passing the PLE. And I think you should know na you did your best. The PLE is really hard and very difficult. It's a tough examination, probably one of the hardest. Hindi mo rin predict kung anong lumabas, kung anong lalabas. But don't put yourself down too much. I know there are a lot of people who weren't able to pass on their first take or second take, but eventually, like I've seen them grow as doctors and even as consultants, and I've seen them parang use that fallback or setback as a motivation to study harder, to study more efficiently. So it's definitely not the end of the world, and it won't determine your career naman po as a doctor, or how far you will go, or how or the type of patients you'll see. So definitely hope that it won't be something that will bring you down so much, you know.
It's the same thing for me, because this is a question that I always encounter, or it always happens every time na may PLE season. And of course, there are some students who do not pass the PLE, It's the same thing that I always tell them. Unang-una, reflect on what happened. No? So maybe there was something na kailangan baguhin. No? And second, it's not the end of the world. You can always come back. You can always, diba, rise up again and do better, the second
Yes.
time around. Kapag sinabi ni Doc Bea, di ba? Doesn't really matter how many times you pass the board. Di naman na yung tatanungin ng pasyente mo. The end of the day, it's how you become empathic and connect with your patient that will really make them
Yeah.
remember you. Okay,
Yes.
no? Siguro, one last question, for Doc Bea. Uh, what is one mantra that you can pass to the next generation of PLE takers? Yan, if you can share something with them. Yung mga nagpi-prep na for the PLE or maybe will be prepping for the PLE in the next few months.
Oh, I would say siguro there's this quote that stuck with me since college, yung parang rest if you must but don't quit. I think the journeys talaga in PLE is very hard, and there are times na you just want to give up. There are times na parang ayaw mo na to, diba? But I think you just need to take like a recharge, just take a moment to reflect, and just parang maybe you need a breather or like relax a bit. Tapos I think just to continue the fight, and always remember that you are more capable than you think you are. You know, even if you're not able to study certain subjects, hindi mo nadaanan to, I'm sure like with context clues or like yung mga previous experience mo, mapipick up din. You'll be able to get there or derive the answer naman din. So just take the opportunity to rest if you feel like you want to quit or you want to give up. But just don't quit. Just keep going. It will get better talaga. Don't put yourself down too much. So yun.
Yeah, no. So thank you very much for that, Doc Bea. Think very very helpful tip, no. So hindi lang mahalaga minsan yung yung ilan na ba yung natapos ko, no? Ano pa ba yung backlogs ko, no? But taking breaks, okay, no, and taking care of your mental health, no, that's very very important, and I think that's the gist of the message there. All right, so I think that's the last question that I have for you today, Doc Bea. Maraming salamat once again, no, for having conducted this interview with us. I hope we can have you in some other session, perhaps if you're not busy. Maybe some learning sessions naman, no, with Focus Review Center. And of course, no, siguro for those that are watching this, if you have questions for Doc Bea, then maybe we can utilize our Telegram channel. Okay, you can course it through there, and if there's time, I can forward it to Doc Bea, and she can take the time to answer some of your siguro, no, detailed questions, no, kasi sometimes when we do this live, may mga students talaga na very interesting, no, yung
Yes.
kanilang tanong.
Yes.
Okay. So with that, then maraming salamat once again, Doc Bea, for being with us today. And for those watching this, maraming salamat din. Again, this is Doc Shino from Focus Review Center, and this is Talk with the Top Notchers. As always, stay safe and stay focused. Goodbye, everyone, and good day.
Thank you.